What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about 5 tactics guys use to avoid having the talk with you, though. What are we, where this is going, or anything where you're trying to get a relationship or even just some clarity out of what's going on, okay? So, jumping right into this, as you can see, I got a lot back here. Hopefully it all fits on the screen, but starting with number 1 is, and by the way, let me just get down here real fast. If a guy is doing this stuff to you, hopefully you can read this. If a guy is doing any of this to you, there's multiple reasons why. More than the 4 I listed here, but I think these top 4 are really important. Number 1, and again, this is a guy who is trying to avoid having the talk, the what are we, the transitioning stage of the relationship. Here's the 4 reasons why he's doing this stuff. He doesn't see any threat, meaning you're not going, the competition, anything. You're not going anywhere. Him staying right here and doing all this isn't going to have a consequence, okay? Number 2, he's unsure about you. Number 3, he doesn't even want a relationship. He just wants the assets. He just wants to hang out, have fun, hook up. He's in a very, very, very good position right now that he doesn't want to change. I tell my clients all the time, if you're talking to a guy who's not moving forward, but he's not letting you go, it's because of risk aversion, right? Risk avoidance. He's not trying to cut you off because he might regret it because he's in a good position, but he doesn't want to progress because he doesn't want to give you a relationship, anyway, or he just doesn't want a relationship in general, so he's going to try to keep you right in the middle. And of course, the last one is, this might hurt and sting a little bit, but you're an insurance policy. He's looking for better, okay? Now, that's usually not the case. Usually, it's just a guy who's emotionally unavailable, that and the value thing, like he doesn't see a threat. But anyway, with all that being said, jumping right into it, he's trying to buy time. This is the most common one where a guy is trying to buy time. He uses phrases that give women hope, okay? Now, I always tell my clients, hope is the anchor that keeps you at shore, right? Meaning it keeps you there. It keeps you in place. It doesn't. You don't go anywhere because you don't want to, again, risk. You don't want to regret it. I also say that a hopeful woman is a confused woman. When a woman's confused, she starts investing more, looking for, or not even leaving. She's just looking for clarity, okay? As soon as the guy sees that, he knows he has you. But a guy will say things like, I'm not really sure what I want, but if I want something or if I want a relationship, it'd be with you. Or he'll say things like, let's see what happens, or let's see where it goes, or I like to take things slow. Let's slow it down. I was hurt in my past. Last time I did this, I was screwed over, or something like that. And the problem with all these you're going to see, or with these excuses you're going to see in the other points, men love to use logic against you because, like I said, you're already hopeful. You're trying to make sense of this. So if he feeds you some bullshit logic, you're going to use that to fill the gaps to make sense. And you're going to this is really powerful psychology. A lot of people need to start studying this stuff. Like, the more you study what I'm telling you right now, you're going to understand and realize why you keep on being in, or people keep on falling in the situations they're falling in. And it's not even just relationships, just in general. We have this justification. We have this tendency to have a like bias to justify things that we like and we want to work out. And we give it more chances than necessary. So when a guy that you like is going to feed you logic, you're going to sit there and be like, oh, that makes sense, he does. I guess he's not a bad guy after all. And you're falling into the trap, okay? So, like I said, these are the reasons why he's giving you those excuses. The second thing is what I call the negotiation. There's several signs that you're negotiating with the guy, but I'm going to give you the 2 main ones. There's reasons why I picked these ones, okay? The number 1 is he's putting forth minimal effort. Now, when I talk about negotiation, a negotiation with somebody is basically a lot of back and forth trying to get like the best deal. Like I said over here, men want assets. They want an advantage. If I'm paying $3,000 for an iPhone, I really want the iPhone, but I got screwed, right? iPhone shouldn't be $3,000. So of course there is a fair market price, whatever they are now, $1,100, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400. But if I could get a brand new iPhone, the newest iPhone for $900 or whatever, $300, we'll just say $300 under retail price, that's a deal. That's an advantage. I save on assets and I get an advantage that other people don't have if I find this sick deal. Men are trying the same thing with you. What a lot of women don't realize is when it's negotiation, it's not just what you guys say, it's what you do. This is why I tell women a lot of the times, I'm going to contradict myself here, because at the same time, if the guy really likes you and wants a relationship, I don't really think it matters. But the thing is, you don't know what guy he is. But if you sleep with the guy on the first date, for example, you are negotiating through your actions that you want casual. If you show that even if you don't, if you show you want casual, he's going to treat you casual. Again, he wants the assets, he's getting them at an advantage. So when a guy's putting forth minimal effort, what I'm getting at is, what he's trying to do is see what he can get away with. Because it's literally like me walking into a market, taking the bag of chips, and walking out. Some of you might be like, oh, it's a bag of chips, it's not even fucking worth it. Okay, but then I got away with a bag of chips. Some of you are going to hold a guy to, or stop that guy and be like, hey, I don't care what it is. Value is value. That's stealing. It's still wrong. Okay, it's the same thing here. A guy's going to see what he can get away with. And the more he can get away with, it builds the context of things, and he's going to start treating you accordingly. That's the first thing. The second way a guy tries, or not a guy, just both people try to negotiate is what I call bluff, or calling the bluff, which is you're going to have a lot of back and forth. For example, I might tell you, again, it can be actions or words, but I'm going to use words here, it's just easier. I'm going to tell you, I don't want a relationship. Hopefully thinking, oh, she really likes me. She's going to stick around and maybe try to convince me otherwise. But I'm going to say I don't want a relationship because I don't want a relationship. But then let's say you're a high value woman. You're like, oh, okay. Well, that's that thing, because I'm not settling for less. I don't want to just keep on fucking. That doesn't benefit me. And then you leave, right? And then a couple days later, I come back and say, hey, whoa. Well, here's the thing. It's not that I don't want a relationship. It's just I don't feel like I'm ready right now, but I really like you and I want to see where it goes. That's me negotiating. I tried calling your bluff. You called mine back and said, nah, dude, not happening. And then I came back with what I call, the new offer. I tried to create a new offer. There's a lot of back and forth. And again, that happens with minimal effort too. A guy might do minimal effort. A woman might be like, hey, what's up here? And then he might step up again, okay? So the third reason a guy tries to avoid the tactics of having to talk and moving it forward is he gaslights you. And a lot of women might agree with the guy on this, because I get comments all the time on my 8-week theory, where I think at 8 weeks, on average, if you have 1 to 2 dates a week, even if you don't, I don't give a shit. Just follow the 8 weeks, okay? If you have at least 6 dates in the 8 weeks, then this applies to you, okay? If you don't, well then what the hell's going on? It's not even, if you're not even getting 5 to 6 dates in 8 weeks, then you're casual. Sorry, it's just what it is. You can't go more than a week without seeing each other. Sorry, that's just how it works, okay? But a lot of women will agree with the guy when he says, hey, you're moving too fast for me. This is too fast. I like to get to know somebody. I like blah, 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 blah. And people will agree because they're like, Elliot, I think 8 weeks is pretty fast. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. What women don't understand, and you might agree with him because it sounds logical, is I'm a guy, trust me, we know very early on what category we're putting you in. And if I'm seeing you for 8 weeks and we're banging and we're hanging out and we're consistent, and I see you 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in 2 weeks, or in 2 months, 8 weeks, come on, where's it going? You at least got to have the talk. You got to have the talk, right? So like I said here, it sounds logical. So a lot of women are going to go with it, but the thing is, it's logical, but you're not thinking logical. You're just going to give him the benefit of the doubt without realizing that, ladies, the longer you go with this is how you know a guy's BSing you. Men who truly like you, when you're negotiating, a good negotiator is a win-win, okay? Not, oh, I played you, I got it all, and you got screwed. A good negotiator's win-win. When you guys are trying to negotiate things, if he's doing things and he's not internally analyzing the risk that you take. So for example, if you're talking 3, 4, 5, 6 months and you're still single and he's using this as an excuse, you need to walk away, ladies. Why? Because logically it's like, come on, dude, you gotta know this isn't healthy for me. You gotta know this is stupid. You gotta know no effing woman in her right mind is gonna stick around for a guy for 6 months and he's still unsure. He still doesn't want to put a title. Like what? Like that's how you know a guy's BSing you, when he's doing things that are at the expense of you and benefit him. The guy's out, okay? So usually what I tell women in this case is, if a guy starts saying things like this, kind of dig a little bit. You got to say things like, hey, I completely understand. For some people, 8 weeks is fast. What do you think is a normal time frame, right? And guys, here's how you know he's going to BS you. He's going to say things like, well, I don't even think about it, or I just let it go with the flow, or I never done it before. I never thought. It just happens. Like he's going to say shit like that. But this is what I call like abstract. Like it's in the clouds. Like it's not. He's going to say shit you can't pin down and hold him accountable for. Okay. He can't say, hey, 3 months or in a month we'll have another talk. Even if he says that, I still think it's BS. Okay. But yeah, you got to call a dude out on it, okay? So number 4 is a guy starts using life excuses. And I put logic down here because what men love to do is start to use logic in life, like things that are going on that he already knew were going on, but now all of a sudden they're a problem. So for example, long distance. If a guy and you are hanging out, having fun, hooking up, he flies out, you guys bang, and then on the way back, a week later, he's like, hey, I don't think I can do this. It's like, when did you realize that? When you were flying out to see me and then we fucked? You knew what was going on, bro. You flew out and you banged the shit out of me, right? Did you realize it on the flight back? Like, did you realize it was long distance? It's like, come on, dude. Or people will be like, I can't do this, I'm your boss or I'm your coworker. Yeah, I know you know that. You didn't think about that when you called me into your office and locked the door? You know what you're doing, dude. Just things like that. So guys will use, my finances. That's a really big one. Oh, my finances, I don't think I'm in a right space, blah, blah. Oh, did your finances just collapse in the last 2 weeks we were talking? Like, come on, dude. So when a guy starts using life excuses, again, he's thinking it's okay because it's logical, but just know if it's something, get out here. Oh. There you guys go. He wants to be in the camera. There you go. Okay, now get out here. So if he starts using life excuses, it's an excuse. And lastly, this is common sense, but it works, right? Guys complain about labels. If you're talking to a dude and you're trying to bring up something where, again, the tactics men use to avoid these talks, if you're trying to bring up the talk and he says, why do we have to label things? We have a good thing. Why do we have to ruin it? Why do women feel like we have to do this, we have to do that? You're out. Okay, well, he's out. Like you're cutting him off. It's not happening, and it's not going to happen. No matter how long you sit, you stay, you beg, you try to convince him, all that, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, okay, ladies? And another thing guys love to do with complaining about the labels is they'll kind of give you like some half-assed things, such as, well, we're exclusive. I'm only talking to you, which if you know anything about the prisoner's dilemma and how much of a disadvantage you are agreeing to that, do not agree to it, please. Trust me, okay? So guys will start complaining about labels and say these things to convince you to keep doing what you guys are doing because it's a good thing. So with all that being said, ladies, if you want to work with yours truly, link is down below. You can get 1 session or you can get 4 sessions for the price of 2, so you get 2 sessions for free. I got all of that down in the description. If you want to get my guides to learn more about this type of stuff in male psychology, links down below. I love you all. Take care and peace.